evening and good to have you with us in the 9 p.m. edition of the Urban Debate. Ahead of Tamil Nadu elections, politics seems to be now intensifying quite a bit. Conversations back and forth, a lot of speculation of who's going to ally with whom and who's really right now seemingly ahead in this race. Now let me take you through some of the key developments that seem to be happening. For the second time now, another Congress leader has invited Makkal Needhi Mayyam as leader and actor Kamal Haasan to join the DMK Congress alliance in Tamil Nadu. In fact, two Congress leaders have now suggested this over the last 1 week or so, and their logic seems to be that Kamal Haasan should come and ally with us to stop the other side, to stop the BJP and AIADMK, to help defeat communal forces, as the Congress says. They also say that if Kamal Haasan goes alone, he will just end up splitting the votes further, which is not going to be beneficial for Congress, DMK or Kamal Haasan, who obviously has been opposing BJP on many issues. Earlier, it was Karthi Chidambaram who had made similar comments as well. We don't know what Kamal Haasan intends to do. We do know that he launched his party, Makkal Needhi Mayyam, in 2018. We do know that they then went on to contest the Lok Sabha elections in 2019. But we also remember that the party did fight in 37 seats and did lose in 37 seats. In fact, they lost the deposit in these seats because they couldn't get enough votes in. They got about 4% vote share, my research team tells me. But they are geared up, and they are gearing up and preparing for fighting the state elections now. These will be critical. So the question is, will the Congress and the DMK benefit from an alliance with Kamal Haasan? Will that help them get an edge over AIADMK, the BJP? Should Kamal Haasan explore this opportunity? And is DMK also of the same view as the Congress party? Let's say good evening to the panelists who are joining us right now. Mr. Suresh Kumar, senior journalist with us this evening. Kovai Satyan, spokesperson for AIADMK. Sarvanan of the DMK joins me this evening. Kumaravel, general secretary for communications of MNM, also with us this evening. And MK Vishnu Prasad of the Congress party, MP of the Lok Sabha, also with us this evening. Thank you to all of you for being with us this evening. Let me see if I can first up go across to Kumaravel, and if he can hear me right now. Kumaravel?
Yeah, I can.
So what is the view of your party on these signals and messages that you're getting from the Congress?
So first of all, our big thanks to Congress for inviting us to join them. And however, today Congress is in alliance with the DMK at this point of time. Congress is a historically very big national party, and they have a lot of relevance when it comes to Lok Sabha polls in Tamil Nadu. However, when it comes to the assembly elections, Congress has got very little relevance, and that is why they are a part of the DMK, and they are a minor part of the DMK. So if at all, it is only DMK who is the leader of the coalition, the alliance. They only have to invite. But thank you very much at this point. It only shows the Makkal Needhi Mayyam is gaining credence not only with the people, also with the peers, which is a good news for us. And we were in a 5-week tour along with our leader Kamal Haasan across the Tamil Nadu, and we could see a lot of the support especially from the youngsters and also from the women. Last time, as you had quoted, we have got less than 4%. But if you really closely look at last election was fought for who is going to be the Prime Minister of the country, or should I say, who should not be the Prime Minister of the country. And Tamil Nadu overwhelmingly voted against the BJP. And that's what is the result of the last time. This time is going to be who is going to be the Chief Minister of the state, which is Kamal Haasan on one side, MK Stalin on the other side, and Edappadi Palaniswamy on the other side. These are the choice. We feel that we have a very good chance of making, because 2021 is going to be the defining election, not only for Tamil Nadu, for the reason that the two iconic people, Kalaignar Karunanidhi and Jayalalitha Jayaram, are not going to be the first time they are going to be the absent in this. And people are looking for a change, and change can be mobilized by us. And that's what we at Makkal Needhi Mayyam are striving hard for.
Okay, people are looking for a change, and that is what Kamal Hassan's Makkal Nidhi Mayam can actually offer to them. Let me actually go across to Mr. Suresh Kumar and get his view as well. Mr. Suresh Kumar, does it make sense for the Congress and the DMK, firstly, to begin with? Will they stand to benefit from allying with Kamal Hassan?
If it's a straight answer to your question, will they benefit? Definitely, yes, they will benefit. Because in assembly elections, where people, the victory margin in some of the constituencies is less than 1,000 votes. Therefore, in that context, if you look at the Makkal Nidhi Mayam polled about 4% votes in the Lok Sabha polls. And if you break it up in the assembly segment wise, if you look at it in about 35 assembly constituencies in urban areas, the Makkal Nidhi Mayam actually polled about 10% to 12% votes in about 35 constituencies. So that's quite a significant vote transfer that they could bring in if they join hands. But the bigger question is, will the DMK want to expand its alliance right now? Because from what I understand, right now the DMK strategy is going to be to contest in as many seats as possible, perhaps in the range of 180 to 200 seats, leaving very little for the existing allies, who themselves are quite a lot. The Congress, the VCK, MDMK, the two left parties, and then a few other smaller parties. Therefore, whether the DMK will be willing to accept this proposition that the Congress has gone ahead and made is what we need to wait and see.
Okay, let me see if Saravanan, in fact, is with us. Saravanan, what's the view? Because the Congress party leaders have now said it 2 times, very openly, that they think it's a good idea to team up with Kamal Hassan.
See, our leader, Mr. M.K. Stalin, has made it very, very clear that we have an existing alliance based on ideology, and we have formed it earlier than 2019, and we fought the 2019 elections on the shared ideology and committed ideology, and the same alliance is continuing. We are strong, so I think the overtures of the Congress is not really wanted right now. They have made it, some leaders within the Congress party, they have made that, but our alliance is very, very intact, so we can't read much into this these statements inviting Makkal Nidhi Mayam too much.
Okay, I do want some more clarity on what you just said. But before I actually do that, let me actually go across to Mr. M.K. Vishnu Prasad and understand from Mr. M.K. Vishnu Prasad if what is being said by your 2 leaders in the last 2 weeks is also the party's
See, as
official
Mr.
stand.
Saravanan told,
Yes.
it is very clear that this alliance, our DMK Congress alliance, is purely based on ideology to establish a government in Tamil Nadu after 10 years that is going to really serve the people of Tamil Nadu and to bring back the legacy of Dr. Kalaignar and Kamaraj together in the state of Tamil Nadu. So in that case, the alliance is very strong. And we don't mind. In fact, we welcome the like-minded parties to join hands to overthrow the corrupt government that is happening in Tamil Nadu. And this government in Tamil Nadu is supporting the Delhi government, which is yet again against the democracy, against the Constitution of India. So establish all these things. I think like-minded parties should join together based on the ideology and establish a good governance in the state of Tamil Nadu.
So here is the M&M which is saying that while this is a good intention and a good offer, this is not something that we're going to look at. I actually want to understand why is it, Mr. Prasad, that there are party leaders who believe that you will gain from allying with the Kamal Hassan
Hello?
party. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Mr. Prasad, are you able to hear me now? Okay, we're just going to fix that line with M.K. Vishnu Prasad. But let me bring in the comments from Kovai Satyan as well before we go back to the Congress party. Kovai, from the other side, what is this looking like?
Yeah, there is an interesting saying in the international arena when it comes to politics. When you do the psychographic analysis, they use a term called dog catting. You know what it is? When you want to divert the attention of the people from a core issue, so this terminology has been used. I'm so surprised by the comment of the panel members here, and that too particularly by one Mr. Vishnu Prasad, the member of the parliament. He said that we are an ally based on ideology, when his Tamil Nadu president is calling out to join hands for an eminent leader, Mr. Kamal Hassan, who still is struggling to fix an ideology for his own party. It's this reiteration of the same thing 10 years ago. A DMK party fielded a comedian called Mr. Vadivelu, who went toured across Tamil Nadu and to draw the attention of the people. He drew better crowd than Mr. Kamal Hassan. It's like giving the picture back again, saying that Mr. Kamal Hassan is going to be the scapegoat again. To remind Mr. Prasad, Vishnu Prasad, the ally of DMK and Congress is in shambles and doldrums in Pondicherry. When the Congress government tabled the farm bill in the assembly, DMK didn't take part in it. So it's like DMK ally is falling like a pack of cards here. The other ally parties upped their ante and said that they want to contest in their party symbol. They don't want to contest under the DMK symbol. And Mr. Alagiri, who is the son of Mr. Karnanidhi, started showing dissent and sending out messages saying that Mr. M.K. Stalin cannot be the true leader, cannot form the government. And so it's like there is a huge amount of ambiguity and there is a huge amount of inter-party politics. And as far as Congress is concerned, they are totally lost. Like how in the national front, they are searching for their roots and ideology and identity. The Tamil Nadu unity is in shambles. Because you get messages and communications from different party people, different office bearers and different things. All it says is that they don't have a common theme to take forward to face this election, and the fear of failure and the pressure that is mounting with them every day.
Okay.
That's the ground reality.
Okay, before I get Saravanan to respond to this, Mr. M.K. Vishnu Prasad, if you're back with us, I want to come back to you. On, of course, what AIADMK said, you can respond to it. But again, I'm trying to understand how having Kamal Hassan helps your alliance.
See, I am unable to see the picture of the person who is talking in favor of ADMK.
That was
on
Kovai
behalf of
Satyan of the AIADMK.
Oh, nice talking to you, Mr. Satyan. But unfortunately, the facts that you are telling is something like Alice in Wonderland. Because when you are able to point out fingers at us, I would like to ask a very simple question. We have established a very clear-cut, strong alliance now. We have told these are our alliance partners very clearly. But are you able to tell that these are our alliance partners? For example, your very kith and kin alliance partner PMK, they are demanding 20% reservation for 1 year. Till now, the government has not said anything. So they have not responded till now. They have not re-established any alliance with you. And another alliance partner, DMDK, they have categorically said they are ready to field 234 constituencies, the candidates. When your status is such, it is unfortunate that you are pointing out fingers at the opposite parties, saying that it is a pack of cards. It is very unfortunate. But anyway, I am really appreciating your sense of stability. But unfortunately, the reality is very, very sad. But that is one side. But the alliance of support of Mr. Kamal Hassan is something which everybody is talking about. See, Kamal Hassan, the name Kamal may symbolize lotus. It may be in his name, but it is not in his heart. So definitely he wants to go against BJP. So it is better that his association with like-minded parties like us will definitely establish a very stronger and a very healthy government, both at the center as well as in the state.
But okay,
Question
let me, if I may.
His participation,
Yes.
whether his participation or contribution to this alliance is going to help. Definitely yes. Even a small contribution from a small party is welcomeable at this point of time, because the results based on the previous results is only a matter of 500 to 1,000 votes. Some constituencies are won in these margin only. So it is an added advantage for the like-minded parties to join together and definitely win this election hands down.
Okay, let me actually get in a response from Kumaravel on this. Are you like-minded parties? Is Makkal Nidhi Mayam on the same, with the same view and ideologies as the DMK and Congress?
Yeah, we are very secular in that sense, and I would only want Vishnu Prasad, Congress, to come and join us. I think we are all talking about Kamaraj rule, who gave perhaps the best administration and best progress in the state came under Kamaraj rule. I think it is the prerogative and the responsibility of the Congress to bring back the Kamaraj rule lot more, and which is what the people of the Tamil Nadu are also longing for. I think it's a very good idea if Congress can step out and we can join together and form a new alliance. And that can take the Tamil Nadu forward.
So your party is okay with joining hands with Congress, but not the DMK?
Yeah, the alliance. We are very clear about the secular forces, and we are very happy about Congress. If Congress steps out, we can form a Kamaraj rule. That's what I'm trying to say.
See, can I respond to
Yes,
this,
please.
See, I am appreciating the openness of our beloved friend. At the same time, I would like to tell him that he is very specific that we are going towards a secular forces. So I am very sure DMK Congress is a very big secular forces that is going to safeguard the interest of our nation. So it has to be a give and take from both the sides. And I really appreciate if our beloved friend can reconsider or consider this seriously, because his point of contention is only on secularism. So we are very, very strong in being a secular shades, secular fabric. So I welcome Makkal Nidhi Mayam to join us.
Well, I want to ask Mr. Saravanan this question now, that while the Congress party is asking Kamal Hassan's party to come and join them, Makkal Nidhi Mayam wants to steal away your ally and form a separate alliance, Mr. Saravanan, and go back or bring back the era of Chief Minister Kamaraj.
See, Mr. Kamal Hassan is trying to appropriate every leader, from Kamaraj, from MGR, from everybody. So we'll have to see really whom he wants to appropriate. See, this overtures by the Congress MP, I don't know whether it is backed by the High Command. We are very clear on, probably that is his view, and that is he wants to, he has expressed his view of what he thinks, what his reading of the ground is. But our reading of the ground is entirely different. And as pointed out by our leader, all these things, our leadership will take a clear stand on all these things. That apart, see, when we are listening to what Mr. Kovai Satyan is speaking, see, we are not talking about intra-party feuds. Inter-party feuds. We are talking about intra-party. There is no clear consensus within the ADMK party as to who is going to be the chief ministerial candidate. Mr. EPS on the one side is giving crores and crores of advertisements in newspapers. On the one side, the chief minister is giving crores and crores of advertisements, wasting taxpayers' money in the last 1 month. They think the taxpayers' money on advertisements will win them votes. You ask them, what have you done? They say, we have given 2,500 rupees. They say that is their crowning glory. There is no consensus within the alliance partners, also within the ADMK. The BJP is not willing to endorse Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy as the chief ministerial candidate. The PMK, as pointed out by the Congress MP, is not willing to endorse Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy. And in the last campaigns, last 2 weeks or so, none of the ministers of the ADMK cabinet is seen with the chief minister. They're all waiting for the release of Mr. Shashikala. All of them are giving contradictory statements. Some of them are saying Shashikala has lived a saintly life. A minister says Shashikala should be taken back into the party. And Mr. O. Pannirselvam, the deputy chief minister, and also one of the organizers of the party, is silent on the induction or on the release of Mr. Shashikala. Whereas Mr. EPS, the chief minister, is categorically saying we will not admit. Even that statement is not finding resonance within the ADMK party. So they are not joined together. All of them are just, it is bursting at the seams. Anytime it will implode. That is the situation of the ADMK. But Of course, what else can they do? When it comes to a public forum, they cannot speak about all these things. They can only say,
Mr. Saravanan,
DMK
they
is
have
this.
been fighting now between them perhaps for a while, but they've still managed to stick together all this while. And
Yes,
now we are
Tanvi,
in the
that is-
final
yes,
final
yes,
round,
yes.
the penultimate
Yes,
stage.
Tanvi.
And may I remind you, never underestimate the power of their allies and the sharp political mind that the BJP duo will bring in. So
Yeah,
I
Tanvi,
don't
let
think
me
you should
respond to that.
underestimate that basis the fight
no,
that
Tanvi, Tanvi.
Paneerselvam
I'll
respond to that.
and
Tanvi, I'll
Palaniswamy
respond to
seems
that.
to be having between them.
Can I
I'd
give
like to
some
clarify on
Tanvi,
that.
I'll respond to that. I'll just respond to that.
Yeah, yeah.
See, nobody here is underestimating
Yeah.
the thing because we have seen how the RSS ideologue has been a spectacular failure in Tamil Nadu's politics, and the kind of ideology that the BJP is bringing in. I think it's not going to work in the state of Tamil Nadu. We are not underestimating. We are correctly estimating them.
Okay,
We are
before
estimating what is their
Vishnu
strength,
Prasad,
we are
Mr.
estimating
Vishnu
what is their
Prasad makes a
weakness.
point, I will ask Kovai if he wants to respond though.
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Mr.
Saravanan,
Vishnu Prasad, I'll come to you next. I will let Kovai
Okay.
respond to exactly what
Honorable-
DMK is alleged. Yeah.
Honorable MP sir, give me the opportunity. So the best testimony why they are falling like a pack of cards is this debate, wherein I believe that ally is being headed by DMK, wherein they are not inviting another person, wherein Congress person is giving an open invitation in this debate. So see the difference of opinion. And the best point is Makalnidhi Mayam leader who is not able to spell out his ideology in open. The representatives say that they are a secular party and they want to join hands with secular forces, wherein see the difference with DMK. Their member of the parliament Kanimoli, who is the sister of Mr. M.K. Stalin, the leader, says that we are not against Hindus. She made an open statement and she tweeted this. We are not against Hindus, we are secular. Such is the kind of pressure they are in, that they want to have an identity for themselves to face these elections. And there is an ambiguity to the core which I can explain. And if somebody says that M&M is secular, that will be the laughing lot, because there is a saying by the leader in Tamil which says that the Nool means the book. The Nool which I hate most is Poonal, which means that the sacred third worn by Brahmins is the one which I hate the most. Now his representative coming out in open and saying that we are for secularism in this ally, which actually is making everybody into a laughing stock, and everybody is keenly watching what's happening in the state. And you don't have a common ground to stand up and say, this is our common ground, this is why we have joined hands, and this is why we are fighting it. They talked about PMK, they talked about DMK who are an ally, but they never said that if this is not being done, we are not going to be an ally with you. Wherein the DMK member goes to Pondicherry and says that if I don't win the majority of seats here, I'll commit suicide on the same stage. Look at their difference of opinion which they have in their ally itself. So this is the stark reality.
Okay, MK Vishnu Prasad wants to respond. Yes.
See, Mr. Saravanan and Mr. Satyan, I would like to make one thing very, very clear. I am not a person who can decide on the alliance. It is my high command and DMK's high command who is going to sit together and decide on the alliance, who is going to come in, who is going to go out. So my opinion is the like-minded people should join together to fight, to combat the anti-secular forces. That is the underlying line. And on this
But
context,
Mr. Prasad, I'm sorry. You say of course an individual is not going to decide.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
has to be a
definitely.
decision
See,
taken
it
by
is-
the party high commands of Congress and DMK. But
Precisely.
isn't that conversation already done? How is it that your state chief is making these comments and reaching out
See,
to
it is
M&M
not- it is not on
publicly
his own.
without the party leadership having a conversation? Have you not spoken to Stalin yet?
It is not on his own suemoto he is taking this case. When it is being asked, will you accept? See, he said the like-minded forces can join together. And it is a welcomeable move by anybody, because in this democracy, I think to establish a democratic government, to establish a corrupt-free government, all like-minded people can join together. But it is up to the high command of both the DMK, our leading alliance partner, and our party leader. They have to sit together and decide and discuss the pros and cons of the alliance, incoming and outgoing partners, and then finally bring a lineup. So when it is being asked, we cannot categorically rule out
Okay.
any inclusion. So on that basis, on that note, it is better to accept anybody who is like-minded together and join together and combat these forces.
Okay, I want to actually go back to Kumaravel about a comment that Saravanan made about how Kamal Haasan at this point is trying to appropriate legacies from, Kamaraj to MGR. Would you like to respond to that? Is that something that you will have to attempt to do to break through the grass that the two Dravidian parties have had for so long?
No, we don't want to appropriate any political leader per se. But however, we want to take the goodness of all the people. Kamaraj has done something very good. MGR has done something very good. Kalaignar has done something very good. We want to take the goodness of all the parties and put it together and promise the people a new era of politics which will take the state forward from 2020 to 2030. We are not here to appropriate a particular leader and take it. See, Kamaraj per se has the education revolution in the state has been seeded by Kamaraj, which nobody can miss that. I think there are so many good works which is done by him, and Congress party has lost out on that. It's only in that angle we are talking about it. We are not saying we don't want to appropriate one person and put it in our bucket. That's not what we want to do. Nobody can do that, and nobody should do that. We are only taking, there are a lot of things with the leaders which has come by. Why not we take that? Why should we leave that? And that's exactly is my point. To Kovai Satyan, who is talking about our leader not being secular and things like that, we are the most secular party. We are, the way in which we conduct our day-to-day affairs, and also in the public has been very, very secular for that matter. And also we are the party who every time had the nerve to talk about the center right from the Corona times. Even before that, even when the Tamil was put it, the language problem arises, or when in the Corona, or every point of time, our leader stood out and had his point. Whether it is the CAA or whether it is the Babri Masjid destruction, there is no change. We are a secular party, and we will support whichever is the party which is for secular.
I actually want to bring in Mr. Suresh Kumar on this. Mr. Suresh Kumar, how is Kamal Haasan and his party viewed as a political party? Now, we know Kamal Haasan as an actor. We know, a lot about his ideas, his thoughts, the kind of movies that he's made, and, controversies that he's gotten into. But as a political party, do people believe that it's secular in the way they say?
So the problem with the MNM is that, Mr. Kamal Haasan has not been consistent in his politics.
Yeah.
The reason I'm saying this is, after he launched the party in 2017, he went on to contest the Lok Sabha polls. But subsequently, he stayed away from the local body polls, and then there was hardly anything heard from him. And only now, after this election fever for the assembly has caught on, he has actually started hitting the ground, and then he has travelled to many districts. So the essence is there has to be some continuity in the politics. At one point he identifies himself as a supporter of Mahatma Gandhi. He says that like Mahatma Gandhi says, we have to strengthen the villages. And on the other hand, he boycotts the local body elections for the rural panchayats. Therefore, that sort of an inconsistency is something that people would not like to endorse, because politics is not a part-time activity. It has to be a full-time. Because after the Lok Sabha election, he went off to host the Big Boss show, and then now he is back on the campaign trail. So he has to be firm and have a clear path on what he intends to do. And as for the policies, I think he calls himself a centrist, which means he's neither here nor there. He wants to place both the AIDMK and the DMK at the equidistance. And in the process, sometimes he says that I am the alternative. And at the same time, he wants to follow the legacy of MGR. And like sometimes he wants to, say that he wants to implement the ideas of Kamaraj. I think there has to be some clarity in this before people take him more seriously and, trust him as an agent of change.
So why is it then that the Congress party still believes it's worth bringing him into the fold?
I think essentially what the Congress, I don't know what basis, because this was first placed by Karthi Chidambaram.
Yes.
He was the one who actually wanted the MNM in. And then now the TNCC president has gone on record, at a journalist conference today, saying that, yes, it would be nice that if they join them. But the problem is, the Congress does not realize that even if it convinces the DMK to take the MNM in, how much of seats could be apportioned? Because from what I understand on the basis of inputs that we get from some MNM leaders is that they consider themselves bigger than the Congress in Tamil Nadu. on the basis of the less than 4% vote share that they got in Lok Sabha. Therefore, I'm sure that if eventually in case, this is taken forward, the MNM might actually ask for more seats than the Congress. So it may not be a very wise idea for the Congress to insist on MNM coming on board. They might, it's okay at a thought process level, they have placed this idea. I think they have to stop with that and then wait for the MNM to respond to see how this goes on, further. But other than that, I think right now the DMK alliance is intact, notwithstanding some minor differences here and there. At the moment, the DMK alliance is set, whereas in the ADMK still we don't know what the stand the PMK and the DMDK are going to take.
In fact, you like the point that you made, and perhaps that's why MNM believes that they can emerge stronger than Congress party. In the 11 out of the 36 parliamentary seats that went to polls in 2019, MNM did emerge as as the third in 11 of these 36 constituencies as a third party. So maybe that's one of the reasons, Mr. Kumaravel, that you believe you can now perform better than what you did in 2019. Basis what though? What is it as a message that you will want to sell to the people as an alternate to DMK or AIADMK?
No, as I told in the beginning, this election is going to be for who is going to be the chief minister of the state, unlike the last time, which is who is not going to be the prime minister of the country. And in all the main cities, especially in more than 65 constituencies, we got more than 10% of votes last time. And there are some polling booths where we have got more than 30% in Chennai. So that is the kind of response we have got from the metro market. However, why for the responding to Mr. Suresh, why we did not participate in that local body assembly elections, it is because we felt that we have done very well in metro, but we need to strengthen the organization in the smaller towns and the villages. Without that, going and fighting it is not going to be a good idea. And that is why last 2 years we have stepped back and strengthened the organization. Today we have got more than 60,000 people who are part of our organization. So that is how much we have strengthened in between. And the tour now and the response coming from everywhere has been so overwhelming. You can expect an off kind of election in this. We are confident in more than 100 seats we have a winning chance, and that's what we are working towards at this point.
Kovai Satyan, do you want to respond to this? In more than 100 seats, MNM hopes to be your biggest contender and win.
No, say the most important point which everybody looks into public life is when somebody emerges as a leader or showcase himself as a leader and forms a party. Come what may, whatever the turbulence there may be in the society or within the party, they have to stay afloat and they have to travel. And their ideology should transcend to a different set of people. So far, MNM has not come out with any ideology. And the person who is representing MNM is comfortably forgetting a point that it is their leader who sought the alliance of Rajinikanth in open public before he could even form the party. So such being the clarity they have got within themselves. So we certainly don't see them. If they say that we are looking at 3-digit, or even if they say that we are going to sweep the elections or going to form the government, then probably it is their compulsion which is making them to make these statements, which clearly shows that they are far from reality. If they want to break down the constituency-wise breakup on their last concluded Lok Sabha elections and say that this is going to transcend on assembly elections, anybody in political life will say that you cannot compare an assembly, a local body, and Lok Sabha elections in one. We cannot have the same parameters for comparison. So that's the basics. So when you are made to learn ABCD, you refuse and say, I will learn only 1, 2, 3, then it is called fate. That's all I can say. That's all.
No, that's fair enough. It's difficult to compare, but by that standard, they would only hope to be stronger and get a stronger response when it comes to state elections versus general elections where you're choosing for somebody outside the state and not for your own state. Now, the other aspect, of course, is that in 2019 the situation was very different. The AIADMK that we were looking at was different. Since then, a pandemic has taken place, Mr. Saravanan, and the Chief Minister is going to be judged on how he's performed. And many experts say that right now, AIADMK seems to have gained a lot in the last 1 year, basis how they have handled this pandemic, and on the back of the freebies that are now getting announced. Saravanan.
Yeah, see, Tanvi, the way this government has handled the pandemic is very miserable. The fact that so much of corruption in handling this pandemic, everything you do, their health minister, who has put his fingers in every cookie jar, is on the public domain. They wanted appointments to be done. They wanted to bypass the state recruitment board. They wanted to get the testing kits from unsubstantiated sources. The corruption is humongous, even in the COVID times. They say they have controlled COVID. They have done spectacularly well. They were not able to give enough money to the people. Come elections, they are throwing away money. See, they were not able to save their own minister. He succumbed to COVID. And we pray for the recovery of one more minister who was admitted in the hospital. So they are not able to prevent COVID. The way they are preventing COVID is by fudging the numbers. What they say is, it is a non-COVID pneumonia. If you take the case of non-COVID pneumonia, the number is huge. Now, most of the people are not taking tests. They have not contained COVID. They have just fudged numbers. People of Tamil Nadu are totally aware of this. And freebies, what have they done? They were not able to keep up the promises, the poll promises, what they have promised in 2016. They promised that they will give cell phones to everybody. They were not able to do that. They said they will give half a liter of milk for 25 rupees to all the women folk. They were not able to do that. This is the government which is not able to keep up its own promises, its own manifestos, and how the people are going to believe the promises that they throw at people. And if you look at the last, they said they didn't have money to give the people during the COVID pandemic. But in the last 3 months,
Yes.
the 2,825 crores of tenders were floated. For what? Nobody knows.
Well, let me
This is
ask
how
Kovai to
they have
explain that.
swindled.
And the
This
rush
is
that
how
we are
they have
seeing to
swindled
announce
the
schemes and
exchequer.
implement schemes in the last few months, Kovai, if you're so confident of your performance, why are we doing this now?
No, I will certainly have to take in this as a political debate to talk about the achievements of my government. But since the topic was different, I didn't take this as an opportunity. But however, now there is an list of allegations from my opposition representative, Mr. Saravanan. Let me say, the plethora of schemes that this government has rolled out have won the hearts of people of Tamil Nadu. The way the pandemic was handled, it's their allegation from day one, stating that we did a scam in purchase of RT-PCR kits when it was available at 337 rupees. We are buying at this cost, that cost, but they couldn't prove anything. Even a list of scam lists which they went to and met the governor. It is so unfortunate that their leader is pleading to us to call assembly and pass a resolution seeking the government to act upon it. Such is the status quo, such is the stature of that leader. What the people are seeing right now. The party which was the sole reason for banning of Jallikattu, they are calling Rahul Gandhi and showing him how does a bull look like and what is Jallikattu is all about. And they are boasting out open. And when we doled out schemes for Pongal for people to celebrate 2,500 rupees, it is the same opposition party which erected banners across Tamil Nadu as if they are giving it from their side. So I don't want to get into the nitty-gritties of it. Again and again, our chief minister had challenged, and the respective minister, whom these people try to paint a picture of scam, had challenged in open that I am willing to stand testimony. If you prove it, I'll quit my ministry. Are you willing to quit your role? But there was no reply. They will go into the shell and they will not come out for a week or two. So these people doesn't have any one strong point, as I stated. The DMK and the ally on their respective allies doesn't have one common ground to stand up and say this is what we are fighting for. Because they had fallen in whatever parameters of allegation they have placed against this government, they had fallen flat. They are not able to gain momentum, nor people are willing to believe them. It is in each and every Gram Sabha, which they call an enacted Gram Sabha shoot. The leader of opposition is peddling lie after lies, which is getting exposed day by day. So all I'm saying is they are under severe stress and pressure that they are not able to win the hearts of the people of Tamil Nadu. Yes, they will come out with these sorts of
Okay.
allegations.
Okay.
And when you retaliate with them, you cannot expect them to
Well,
come back to you.
because Saravanan raised those issues and you've responded to it, but I do want to go back to the bigger conversation we were having right now, Saravanan. So let's keep.
No, it's not about that. No, 10 seconds to me, Tanvi, 10 seconds to me.
Yeah.
See, let us not forget the fact that in 2019, the ADMK and the BJP combined has been swept out. They have been given a resounding defeat. The people, we have won the hearts of the people, which they are not able to win back. So let him not peddle lies here. The chief minister is the one who's peddling lies. If we contrast, I just want you to compare and contrast the Gram Sabha meetings conducted by our leader and the campaign conducted by the chief minister. You just put those two screens, put it on two screens, have a comparison. Let's see where the people are more enthusiastic.
So I promise you this, to you and to Kovai, we're going to have that conversation again, and we will go scheme by scheme, promises by promises, because at the end of the day, people will also have to judge this government's performance. I'm completely out of time, but last comment from Mr. M.K. Vishnu Prasad before we wrap this conversation.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Satyan, I would like to ask you only one thing. Now the government has given 2,500 rupees per ration card. That also they have increased from sugar to rice card, rice type. But during the COVID, for around 10 months, when people were suffering, they were starving. How much you gave? It is only 1,000 rupees. So the intention is very clear. Nearing the election, you want to wipe it off. You want to roll everything in the corner and give 2,500 rupees and think that you have achieved a bigger thing than how you handle COVID. This is a simple example how this government handled COVID. And also, when central government has given 5 kgs per unit in a family, this rice has to be given. They have not given that kind of whatever the central government stated. They failed. They lied to the central government that as if they have given. Now it is in the court. The case is going on in the court of law, and the justice will be established soon. So this is a small example I am quoting how this government handled the COVID. And regarding the alliance, our alliance is very, very strong. We are ideologically based alliance, but their alliance is highly volatile and vulnerable and undecided. Definitely, the democracy will win. Definitely, the secular forces will win.
Okay. Kovai, I will have to give you time to respond because there's a direct question.
Yes. Tanvi, I just want to reiterate and bring to the notice of Mr. Vishnu Prasad, the blue-white scheme of Amma, called Amma Canteen, served 7 lakh people every day.
Where is Amma water? Where is Amma cement? Where is Amma water now?
No, I didn't interfere.
It is so volatile, sir. Mr. Satyan, please try to understand. What happened to Amma water? What happened to Amma cement?
When you raise some allegations, I'm responding to it. You please
I am just giving you some flashback. That's all.
It is this government, this state government, which was first in the country to roll out 15 kilos of rice, dal, as well as cooking oil free.
The central government said, don't lie, Mr. Satyan.
It is the central government notification which you have to follow.
5 kg for everybody. 5 kg for everybody in the family, and you stole that rice. The ADMK government did not give that rice.
Okay, Saravanan, both the allies can't gang up on AIA DMK when the point of conversation, any which is today, was Makkalni Divayam. But let Saravanan just respond, and then I really need to wrap this up.
I need just last 10 seconds.
Yeah. So see, Tanvi, the problem with the...
No, let Kovai respond. Let him respond. Explain, yes.
Okay.
So, the scheme of 2,500 rupees during the Pongal didn't come out of the blue.
Yeah.
Last year it was 1,000 rupees. Considering the COVID pandemic, considering the economy of the people, of each and every household, it was increased from 1,000 to 2,500.
So you waited
now
for
you can
10
understand
months.
why my opposition is getting impatient. Now you'll know. Because this scheme has won the hearts of the people. It is not something, it was not there earlier. Now it is rolled out this year alone. It was there till last year. Till last year it was 1,000. It has now been increased to 2,500 rupees. So that's how you manage the affairs of the state.
But why not during COVID?
You have to consider the livelihood of the
Why
other
not
side.
during COVID?
Demonstrated best how to strike an equilibrium between economy and livelihood, and we have showed the model to the entire country. I can say it with pride. And you can say whatever you want, saying that with political intention, saying that this is not it has to be done. This is not how it has to be done. There is a formula which is in practice in Tamil Nadu for the last 1 year. No farmer was feeling bad about it, and everybody is happy. Wherein your Congress ruled state, you are not able to win the hearts of the farmer.
Okay, completely out of time. Completely out of time. I wish we could have carried this on, but one thing is for clear: when it comes to Tamil Nadu, this is not the first time we are seeing such schemes being doled out. In fact, in Tamil Nadu and AIADMK, pioneering quite a bit of it. There's been a lot of subsidized food and welfare schemes that were announced by AIADMK during Jayalalitha's time as well. To now a point where every year, for one of their biggest festivals, the Pongal, along with cash, hard cash, there's also some amount of food which is given. That money, that amount has gone up. That goodie bag on occasion of Pongal has become bigger and heavier. The allegation, of course, being that this is being done keeping in mind the elections. I think any party which would have been in power would have ended up exploring this and exploiting this. Not the right way, but unfortunately has become the system in our country, where when you think you haven't performed well enough in power, you resort to last-minute schemes and announcements and waivers and projects and to be implemented, to hope that people will keep this in mind when they vote again. We wait and watch how Tamil Nadu votes in a few months from now. A lot is going to happen before that, as alliances get sealed, as issues come to the forefront. Stay tuned to Mirror Now.